And if I want to speak to you, I'm happy to make an appointment.
Sure, I want to ask you about ball and chain. What's wrong with your ball and chain? Why do you harass people? These are all homeless people.
This is Alexander News Show with Alexander Carlos. We go after the news.
Tell me what's up with this whole climate change thing. What is your opinion on the climate change?
What? Hi everyone, this is Alexander Carlos with the Alexander News Show on iHeart Podcast Network, with Spotify as well, on the podcast platforms. Bienvenido todo el mundo, este es Alexander Carlos con el show de Alexander News Show. Estamos en iHeart Podcast Network y Spotify. Toda la información de Alexander News Show, lo que son las redes sociales, está abajo del video este. Yo después voy a editar este video, and just so you know, all the social media platforms of Alexander News Show is below the video. And I'm going to edit this video later on. And of course, it's going to be on the podcast platforms. Va a estar esto en el podcast. To my right, in front of the camera, and on the screen to the left, and I hope I got this correctly, we have Miami-Dade County Sheriff candidate, Mr. Delarua. But what is your full name, sir? With all the respect, because you are a former law enforcement officer. I have nothing but respect for your law enforcement officer.
Well, thank you so much.
Tell me your full name, sir.
Well, Alexander, thank you so much for coming to my house.
Beautiful, thank you. And beautiful pictures, by the way.
No, listen.
Your family.
We want your viewers to be part of our campaign, so I really appreciate you taking the opportunity here.
Thank you.
My name is RUAMEN DELARUA, and I am a candidate for the sheriff's office here, or for the sheriff's race in Miami-Dade County. And the unique thing about me is that I bring 42 years of law enforcement experience. I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm an uncle, I'm a grandfather, which brings me connected to the people of Miami-Dade County. I was raised here in Hialeah. I went to Hialeah, Miami Lakes. Go Trojans. And
Hialeah High School.
See, and we can talk together. We can have a conversation together. So it does work. Hialeah, thank you for that. I got 42 years of law enforcement experience, and the unique thing about me is that I have the police culture and I have the sheriff's culture, which I have 26 years of sheriff's office culture that we need here in Miami-Dade County, that we don't have. We haven't had it for 40 years. You know, I've risen through the ranks. I've retired as a commander. I worked in the administrative. I work in command level and policy making level positions. I've worked Patrol Bureau, Corrections Bureau, Courts Bureau, Juvenile Bureau, and also the Youth Bureau. So I'm well.
This, by the way, this is all with the Miami-Dade Police Department.
No, this is with the Marion County Sheriff's Office, okay, where I did 26 years from.
Wow, okay.
I started here in 1982 with the city of Miami. Okay. And then in 87, I moved up to Marion County, and that's where the sheriff's culture began.
Okay. And you worked with Miami-Dade Police before?
No, I worked for the city of Miami. I started with the city of Miami.
Okay,
I retired.
I understand.
And I'm back with the city of Miami.
Okay, I understand. Just want to get that correct for the viewers.
Never worked. I don't know anything from Miami-Dade Police Department.
Beautiful.
No nepotism. No family members work there. I don't owe the police department any favors, and I don't owe any of the politicians any favors.
Well, that's great, because it would be terrible if you were beholden to them.
Of course.
And you're not beholden to no one.
No, correct.
Just your family, just your wife.
Correct. I'm all about, faith, family, and the Constitution.
Beautiful.
And doing the right thing and being the voice of the community is what we need here today. listen, I protect and I speak for everybody. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, I'm the people's sheriff, and I've always been that in my 42 years of law enforcement experience. Matter of fact, if you're a special interest group and want to donate to my PAC or my individual PAC, you are not allowed to, because I will not accept that.
Beautiful. So let's talk about your time when you were in law enforcement. Give me an example of a big thing that you accomplished, something major, your career-defining moment when you were in law enforcement. The viewers would like to know this.
Man, Alex, there's so many, but I can tell you that one that was dearest to my heart was one time I was the commander of K9, and we were well known in the state of Florida through FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and there was a case of a little boy that was missing from his house. His name was Duckett, and they couldn't find him, and they thought that they had killed him and buried him somewhere in the Ocala National Forest.
Wow.
And they called my unit that we went out there and searched, because at that time we had cadaver dogs. And what really hurts me till today is that we had to stop the search.
Oh.
Not because of me,
Sure.
because it was too long, and the cost to the search was, we're not locating anything. But if it was up to me, I would continue the search. I would continue until we found it.
Wow, that's terrible.
So that was one of the things I always hold. And the other one is when we had critical incidents like weather, like the hurricanes or mass destructions, whether it was in our county or in another county, is the overtime. Sometimes I couldn't pay the deputies overtime. They had to either comp the time to work, or they had to flex it out, and that was against my boss's wishes. But those are the two things that I remember.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate situation with the child. It's terrible whenever a child goes missing and passes on, and you can't even locate the child. So let me ask you this: in the first 100 days of office, if you're elected sheriff of Miami-Dade County, what will be one of the top things, or the top thing you will do in the first 100 days with Miami-Dade Police Department, which will eventually will be Miami-Dade County Sheriff's Office?
Well, I'd like to start the selection of my executive staff. I got to move forward. So in order to get my staff in place, I would start there, and then once I get that in place, we're going to have to audit the department of the Miami-Dade Police Department. And what I find weird is that the transition team that's in place now are involving some of the candidates. So it tends me to believe that, hey, are you hiding something and want everything under the rug? So just in case I do get it, that all the hidden secrets are not known.
Yes.
So I'm definitely going to have to audit the books, between the budget. I know that this year they passed a 12.7 billion budget. So
it's growing 4 billion by I call her Fidel
Cava.
Fidel Cava.
and she's smoozing everybody.
Yeah.
She's playing smoke and mirrors.
So let me ask you this: what is your opinion of Fidel Cava, Daniela Divine Cava, politicizing the Miami-Dade Police Force? And she's using a puppet, James Reyes, who played football with me in high school, Highland High School. I remember I call him Midget Man. What is your opinion about her politicizing the Miami-Dade Police Force?
This is my opinion, and she's not the only one. It's happened before her, but she is taken to a different level. When she was backing Ramirez back, and everybody thought that was going to be the #1 puppet, and then his critical incident that shocked everybody, and with her continuing using him in the transition or even being part of the Miami-Dade Police Department shows everybody that, listen, she wants her puppets in there. And then by him getting out of the race, she appoints someone that doesn't live here, someone that does not have connections with
He lives in Miami.
And how can you have a leader telling how to run, how the citizens of Miami-Dade County should act and run and use their money when he's living in Broward.
And has no law enforcement experience. He has corrections, but no police experience.
And that's the difference between myself. I have the experience of working the streets, working with the community, being involved in programs of the community. We used to have every week, we had a spaghetti dinner within the community where the community came out and they cooked and we spoke and I heard their issues and their concerns, and then the next day we come and fix it. Every day we had a community meeting within the community, and we knew our residents on a one-on-one basis. They don't have that here.
No, they don't. I haven't heard of it.
The response time.
Have you, the viewer, heard of such a thing? Make a comment below. Make a comment below about that.
You know,
what future sheriff of Miami-Dade County, DeLarua, is mentioning right now.
You know, the response time here, non-emergency response time is over 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, I want to ask you about that. What is your opinion on the response time?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
What would you do to fix it?
Well, me being a retired commander, and I work 3 districts, which are like a major position here in Miami-Dade Police Department. In the sheriff's office, we do more with less. We have more Indians and less chiefs. Here, they have more chiefs and not enough Indians. So with that saying, is that when we did our CompStat, one of the things that the sheriff would look at is our response time. We have to make sure that our response time, whether it's a non-emergency or an emergency, is up to par in a district. I saw the other day that it was 20 to an hour response time for the police department to show up for a non-emergency call.
In Miami-Dade County?
Yes. That means if you called for a broken window or burglary, it'd take about an hour to get here. And then if it was an emergency, it goes from anywhere from 18 to 15 minutes. That's a lot. The fire department gets to the call or to the scene before the police. And that's not good.
Would you agree that's because there's a lack of police officers?
Well, there's a lot of
police force?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, we've had 3,200 policemen in the city of Miami-Dade County for the past 11 years that I've been back. We should be at least 4,500 police officers or deputies on the street and doing proactive work. You know, one of the things that I fail to mention is that the police, it's not by their fault, is they're not being backed, and the leadership are telling them, listen, we don't want you going out there and doing something because we don't want to get in trouble. We don't, and that's where the crime is rising, and the backing of the policemen are far from ever happening unless I take office. I've been a law enforcement for 42 years. I've never seen so many people shooting at police officers, killing police officers, or even punching police officers. We have lost control. We have to come back, unhandcuff the deputies, let them do their jobs, teach them the Constitution, so they won't violate any of our citizens' rights, and move forward. I mean, that's simple. That nobody's thought of that, and I know that I'm capable with the experience and knowledge that I have. That we're going to move forward. We can't go backwards.
Well, let me just tell you before we move on to the next question, and I'm going to ask you in Spanish, because this is a bilingual talk show, and the platform of Alex and Lucio is bilingual, Latino just as much as it is English. I asked Mr. James Reyes in one of the last forums, sheriff forums, that question. You think, and the video's there, you viewers can look at it, it's in there in the history and all my platforms. Do you feel that we have a staffing issue? Do we need more officers? He said, Mr. Reyes, Midget Man, says no. No, we don't have a staffing problem. Like, okay, Mr. Reyes, that's your opinion.
And he's the director of the
public safety. The head of public safety, yes. Yeah. That's what he said. But you say no, we need more officers. I agree with you.
Yeah, we definitely do. And we need the non-sworn personnel as well, too. Because for more officers that we get on the street, or for more deputies that are on the street, we need non-essential workers to catch up. Because we're so behind on paperwork and that's why they haven't been doing a lot of work. If you notice, in the deputy culture, when a deputy responds to a call, not only does he or she go respond and take the call and do the report, but then they have 10 days to follow up on an investigation themselves. Yeah. If they need to process, they will process the scene, and if they have to make an arrest, they do the A form and walk the warrants through. Here, you don't have that service. You do, if you can get a report, you're lucky.
It takes about 2 weeks to get the report.
Yeah, there's no customer service, and no. If you look at my social media, I have the upside down triangle.
Wow.
Because I put myself on the bottom and put those deputies, put the citizens, the deputies on top, and make sure that they get all the resources and all the support.
By the way, what is your website? So the viewers can look it up, and I'm going to mention it in Spanish as well.
Okay.
What's your website for the viewers to see, voters?
www.delaruaforsheriff2024.com. En español, la red social mía es www.delaruaforsheriff2024.com.
And that's going to be written once I do the editing on this video, and it's also going to be below this video. So, en español, lo que quiero preguntarte es, ¿cuál es la cosa, el crimen más crítico, y se lo estoy preguntando bien, lo que está pasando ahorita en el condado de Miami-Dade? ¿Qué es lo que está pasando que es un problema muy grande de la comunidad de Miami-Dade con el crimen?
Bueno, el tiroteo, hay un tiroteo, hay alguien muerto todos los días, no puede salir, la calidad de vida aquí es para tener miedo, en vez de la calidad de vida tenerlo más fácil para nosotros vivir con la familia, los hijos, ir a caminar de aquí a la otra cuadra o caminar la cuadra en paz. No lo puedes tener porque va a venir alguien y te van a robar o violarte o matarte.
¿Tú lo ves malo?
Todos los días. El crimen aquí está tan alto que necesitamos un alguacil que tiene el poder, que sabe lo que necesitamos para mejorar la calidad de vida.
¿Qué zona de Miami-Dade tú piensas que está mal?
Tú sabes, Alejandro, si tú me dices eso hace 10 años, te digo solamente una partida, una parte del condado, pero el condado entero necesita ayuda. Hasta la ciudad que viven adentro del condado, ellos necesitan. Tú sabes que lo más cómico que averigüé el otro día, tú te recuerdas los tiroteos de la ganga. Había 2 días que una ganga estaba tirando en la calle con la madre.
¿En qué zona fue eso?
Miami Gardens.
Oh, wow, ok. Sí.
Había en Miami Gardens un día un tiroteo de ganga tirando en la calle, ¿verdad? 2 días después, otro tiro.
Yo hice un show que se llama Crime Check, uno de mis programas de Crime Check, y yo lo hice con Miami Gardens.
Horrible.
Live, en vivo, de noche.
Pero tú sabes lo que la jefa de policía dijo ahí, que la comunidad no se preocupa, no tienen daño, porque lo que pasó era cosa de ganga. Y yo estoy pensando, ok, si mi mamá, mi hermana estaban en el cuarto, en la casa, y una de esas balas entra a la ventana y los mata, la jefa de policía está diciendo, no hay problema aquí. Soy yo como alguacil, si eso pasa más de una vez por todo, yo tengo la fuerza de ir en esa comunidad y llevar a los diputados para que hagan el trabajo de esa municipalidad.
Y eso lo puede hacer el Miami-Dade County Sheriff.
Claro.
Lo puede hacer,
claro.
Entrar a la ciudad, que haga el trabajo que la policía no puede hacer.
Claro, porque es el jefe más grande de ley y orden en el condado. Tú sabes, hay policía de jefe que ellos trabajan para el alcalde o el city manager. El sheriff, el alguacil,
es el que manda, el mismo manda.
Y trabajamos por la comunidad. Yo no trabajo para la alcaldesa, yo no trabajo para...
You work for yourself.
Sí, y esa parte es independiente de la política. El único político ahí es el alguacil, porque los diputados que trabajan abajo no tienen que preocuparse de la política. Nada más se tienen que preocupar por ayudar a la comunidad y hacer el trabajo. Ese es el trabajo mío, de hablar con políticos.
And I'm loving what I'm hearing. I love it. I mean, I love that. That's great. So please, tell me a little bit about your wife. She's your number one supporter. Tell me a little bit. How is she handling the fact that you're running for sheriff?
Man, let me tell you that we've been together for over 20-some years, and we have 4 children and a grandson that is unbelievable. And it's all because of my wife. Is the backbone of my family. I might look strong, but let me tell you, she's stronger. And I cannot be here today talking to you or being interviewed for your viewers to see me without her. And a lot of people don't know, especially in this political game that we're playing, that we put a lot of stress on our families. And I've been from day one, I've been the first one to file that she has been at my side, between God and my wife, has pushed me in this moment.
God bless you.
So
God bless you.
I'm blessed.
So I'm going to ask your wife a question. I'm going to get up, and she's going to sit where I'm at, and I'm going to ask her a question on this whole thing with the Miami-Dade County Sheriff or in regards to you. Okay? So, Missy Delarua, thank you for joining the Alexander News Show with your husband on the interview. I'm Alexander Carlos, and I wanted to ask you, how are you dealing with the stress of your husband, Mr. Delarua, running for sheriff of Miami-Dade County?
Thank you for having me. Lots of praying. I don't know. I'm in it to win it with him. He's the best guy for the job. I don't doubt that. I know he'll be the right person to do what our county needs. So we just push through on days where it's hard, it's exhausting. You feel defeated. Pray some more. So
The Almighty God.
Amen.
And Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Perfect. Thank you for appearing this little segment with your husband. Now, of course, this whole entire interview, you appearing with Mr. Delarua, this whole thing will be all put together. And I appreciate you from a wife's perspective, you sharing your experience and the stress level of having a spouse running for a very important position as sheriff of Miami-Dade County.
Oh, yeah, she can do her own show.
Mr. Delarua, sir, let me pronounce your name correctly. RUAMEN DELARUA, right?
No, it's RUAMEN
DELARUA.
It's like Truman without the T.
Running for Miami-Dade County Sheriff. Este es el señor Delarua, corriendo para sheriff de Miami-Dade County, Condado de Miami-Dade. This is one of the most important races, political races we've had in over 50 years. The sheriff's race. This is actually more important than the mayor's race. And the mayor's race is super important. Es una de las elecciones políticas en más de 50 años, más importante que una de las más grandes en el condado, de la historia de Miami-Dade County, más importante que la alcaldesa. Okay? Y la alcaldesa es súper importante. So, antes de yo seguir, hacerte la última pregunta, the last question I'm going to ask you. If you want to donate to the show, Cash App, $ Alexander News Show. Si quieres donar, Cash App, $, el signo del dólar, boom, Alexander News Show, todo completo. Toda la información de Alexander News Show, de las redes sociales, está abajo de este video. All the information of the different platforms of social media for Alexander News Show is below the screen. And also, this will be on podcast. Esto va a estar en podcast. It's very simple. Alexander News Show by the podcast. Alexander News Show for the podcast in Spanish or in English, whatever. Let's keep going. I already got all that sales stuff out of the way.
Make sure you donate.
Yes, thank you, please.
You got it.
I wanted to ask you about the corruption. What would you do to fight general corruption? Public corruption, homeowners association corruption, bureaucratic corruption, everything in Miami-Dade County. What will you do?
Well, being part of
if
this,
you're elected sheriff of Miami-Dade County.
Well, I can tell you, Alex, that I'm coming. I'm coming for you. If you're doing anything corrupt, well, our deputies and our task force will come for you. It's easy. You know, since I've been in this race and I've been in this Miami-Dade County back for the amount of time and growing up here, the corruption is rampant here. Everybody is trying to pocket their money. For the viewers that think they're looking at, hey, listen, it's easy to be a political figure and run a campaign. Listen, I can attest that it's not that easy. People don't talk to me because I don't raise more than $150,000. I've raised $60,000 from the community, grassroots campaign, and the politicians won't even talk to me. Churches won't even talk to me because it's all about the dollar. You got to pay to play. And that right there is corruption. And an anti-corruption unit that's going to be under my command, where my deputies will investigate anybody corrupt, whether it's a HOA, a political figure, anything that the public deems corrupt, that will be investigated. And the good thing about it, they will be directly involved or directly talking to me, and I'll have the final decision on their outcome of the investigation. And also, remember, they did away with the CIPs, the Civilian Independent Pit. Listen, I think that I need to hire them and have them work collectively together so they can have their side and we have our side, and together they present a case to me, and it's a win-win for our community. Transparency, accountability, forward thinking is all it's about.
Because honestly, and I love what you said about taking on public corruption, general corruption overall, because she's not my friend, I don't think she's your friend, Kathy Rundle, Miami-Dade County State Attorney. When was the last time? I asked her a question in one of the interviews, and it's there on the videos, there on the Alex and the News Show.
Make sure you check it out.
Yes. I asked her, do you go after the day they arrested Joe Martinez over a $15,000 Mickey Mouse sting? That more than likely he'll be acquitted because it's not a strong case. I asked her, well, does this mean, Mrs. Rundle, are you going to go after public corruption more? And she felt insulted, disrespected when I asked her that question in her office.
And that's sad because she
told me. You can see the video.
That's how they play corruption. If you think about it, the state attorney, I'm going to take everything away from the state attorney, all the task force. She can have whatever task force she wants, but the human trafficking, anti-corruption, I will have all those task force under the sheriff's umbrella, and I will bring her the 8 forms as long as she has the proper prosecutors to file those cases and win them. That's all she needs to worry about. When it comes to law and order, that's the sheriff's responsibility.
Mrs. Producer, how many minutes do I have left? Because I do want to follow up on this. I just want to ask you how many minutes I have left.
You're at 5:22.
Okay, so the latest, and I put out a story on this, and you probably saw it. There was a guy in 2010 that killed a teenage girl. Did you hear about that? Teenage girl. And because of the negligence of the state attorney office of Rundle, and this is Rundle, there was a cover-up, some kind of cover-up. I'll send you the link later on.
Okay.
They had to, literally, this guy they found him guilty, killed a 15-year-old girl in 2010. They had to basically just let go of the conviction. Release the conviction because the state attorney's office of Rundle messed up. Yes, he's only going to serve 1 more year of jail and he's free. And this guy's a killer because of the negligence of Mrs. Rundle.
And there's a lot of cases
that just happened.
There's a lot of
cases. The state attorney's office did this.
That's been going on. That either they dropped the charge.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. They had a Joe informant that they were talking to. They were doing deals with this Joe informant. Inside the jail.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
The recent one that they just let go some of the state attorneys. Attorneys.
How do you like them apples, huh?
I hate them. I hate those apples.
You think it's a sour apple, huh? Pretty bad.
It is. Again, they don't have enough prosecutors to convict anybody. They're making plea deals. Listen, I've been a policeman since 1982, or back in the 80s. And I used to have lunch on 1 to twice a month with Jan Reno, which was the state attorney at that time, she would not like the way Rondo is running her office, that she appointed Rondo to the state attorney's office. And that's a fact. And that's unheard of. So that state attorney, we need to work collectively.
Pure corruption and negligence.
Well, it's not, it shouldn't be under her office. It should be controlled by the mayor, and it should not be controlled by the mayor's puppets.
So the fact is this, the question that I want to ask before we wrap up this interview, will Mrs. Rondo be able to work well with you, or will she have any animosity towards you? That's actually the question I wanted to ask you before we wrap up this interview.
No, I think we're going to get along. As she knows what she needs to do, I know what I need to do, and we're going to work on several projects together.
Does this mean you're going to investigate her office because there's a little negligence going on?
Well,
do I hear a little birdie coming my way?
There's already started an audit in her office, so I can only ease that way when taking office.
Beautiful. I want you to please tell the audience your website in English and Spanish one more time. It's going to be on the screen and below the video for the viewers to see. Quiero que me diga el website donde la gente te puede encontrar. El website también va a estar escrito en este video y abajo del video en YouTube y las otras plataformas. Por favor, share the website the viewers can find.
RUAMEN DELARUA at www.delaruaforsheriff2024.com. Me llamo RUAMEN DELARUA. Estoy corriendo para el alguacil de Miami-Dade County. Puedes ir a mi red social que es www.delaruaforsheriff2024.com. Muchas gracias. Por favor, donan en la página de Alejandro y la página mía. Muchas gracias.
Yeah, that's right. They can make a donation. You can make a donation to the campaign, to your campaign. Puede ser una donación a la campaña de esta.
Sí.
Correcto, okay.
Gracias.
This is Alexander Carlos with the Alexander News Show at our podcast network. Again, this video will be up in a little while. Thank you for watching the Alexander News Show, interviewing exclusively candidate for Miami-Dade County Sheriff, Mr. Delarua. I will not say your first name because I'll mess up again. Muchas gracias por ver el programa este. Muchas gracias.